Hello everyone, welcome. This is WXJM Harrisonburg, 88.7 on your FM dial. And if you're a fan of the show, welcome back to the Camp Out with me, Campbell Wood. I'm so excited to have you all back today. And I'm also so excited. I'm so excited to have the pleasure to be here with Rebecca Porter. Yay! I feel like there's going to be like an audience of claps, but it's just the three of us in here. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. You just heard Happy Go Lucky. And yeah, tell us, of course, anytime. I saw you perform at Mac Rock this past year, and I was just so blown away, genuinely, just your voice, your talent, everything. It really, truly inspiring. But yeah, of course. So first, just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what kind of music you make, just all of the big stuff. Yeah.
My name's Rebecca Porter. I live here in Harrisonburg. Actually, a JMU alumni myself.
All right.
I was born in Guam. I was raised in Virginia since I was about 4 years old. I grew up 30 minutes north of Harrisonburg.
Oh, cool.
Mount Jackson.
All right. Okay. In the entire place, it's just like interesting. Wow. I guess.
I left 81.
Yeah.
Growing up, whenever we were coming to town, it was coming to Harrisonburg. So Harrisonburg has been
Awesome.
in school here. Lived here. I sang and danced for a really long time, and now I play my own music. I have my own band, WXJM. We play country/Americana music. It's like a blend. Some folks say like honky tonk singer-songwriter sounds to describe us. And we've been going pretty hard. I've been playing solo original music since 2021, and the band and I have been doing shows together for over a year now.
Awesome. Great. No, that's awesome. Yeah, so you're here for obviously a reason. You're here to crowdfund, get a little fundraising for your new album, right?
Yes.
Is that correct?
So I have put out 2 EPs independently. Last year we crowdfunded a little over $6,000 to fund my second EP, Queen of the Local, which Happy Go Lucky is from.
Right.
And now I'm ready to put out a full record, which is very costly, especially for indie artists. Mm-hmm. And so I started the crowdfund in August, and on Wednesday the crowdfund will be done. Wednesday's your last day to contribute.
Awesome. But yeah, so what inspired you to start the campaign? Like, how do you see it supporting yourself and like your career as an indie artist in Harrisonburg?
Yeah, so I am a parent, and my partner works as a tattooer in town. We're very involved in the community, and being an artist of any kind is not a job where you get paid a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But a lot of times, many people in your community and communities beyond where you live benefit from the art that you produce and what you put into the world.
Right.
So as an indie musician who fully supports their own career, I just recently had some management come on to help me with things, but other than that, I book for myself. I do all my own website, social media, that stuff.
Oh, wow.
And then go play the shows and write songs. It's a lot. And so there are efforts in the world for community-supported music production. And that just means, having a foundation from your community, people who listen to your music and enjoy it, to help support and take on some of that financial burden at the forefront, because producing the music, getting people to come play on the songs, put the record together, mixing, mastering, and then putting out into the world, that's where a lot of the cost comes. And so the crowdfund was a way for me to connect with people who already listen to music and potentially connect with people who may not know me or know my artistry, but just support indie artists and musicians.
Yeah.
So bridging those gaps.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's just so cool that we have like the resources now to be able to do that, and like this campaign could reach, I mean, literally anywhere. It's really awesome to see, honestly, how much you've raised even now.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at it this morning, and I'm not sure if I can say it on there, but it's a decently sized number. So yeah, that's really great. I'm really happy that we're able to to get some donations.
Thank you very much.
So how did you really like kind of create, like, what was the process with like creating the campaign?
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any like strategies or tools to like make it successful? Because obviously it has been pretty successful, but yeah. So,
thank you.
Yeah.
I went with a platform called Indiegogo. It's just a website that does crowdfunding. There are lots of different ones. This was the same website that I used last year or when I did for the EP. So I was familiar with it, and it was user-friendly as far as I thought.
Yeah.
And so I decided to use that platform, and then I've just, as a savvy indie artist, have read up on, taken some internet classes on marketing and branding and your identity, your target persona, and just really trying to hone in on how to talk to the people that are music enthusiasts or people that already listen to my music, or what is the thread that ties all of my listeners together, and how can I use that to really appeal to people who may not be familiar with my music, but would be interested and would appreciate it and potentially financially support it.
Yeah. Wow. Great. And you've been in the music industry for, you said, about a decade? So
well, longer than a decade now.
Longer than a decade.
Don't say it like that. It's been a while.
No, I didn't mean anything.
Yeah.
But,
well, I'm almost in my mid-30s now, and I've been singing my entire life.
Yeah.
When I was a early college student, I started doing pageants to get what are they called? It's not a sponsorship. It's not a grant. It is a scholarship. That's what it is.
Yes, there we go.
I started doing pageants to get scholarships to pay for school. And so I would sing for pageants, and then I got into cover bands and kind of bounced around from different cover band projects, because even though I didn't connect with the music necessarily, it gave me some proximity to music.
Yeah.
And after I gave birth to my son in 2019, I just decided that I wanted to have a different relationship with music, and have just continued chugging along.
That's so interesting. So you've been doing it by yourself, like, until recently. That's really impressive. That is honestly really, really cool. I did want to, like, I'm a singer, so I kind of understand a little bit of, like, the journey that, like, I guess, like, developing your voice and kind of finding your own, like, I guess, talent. But like, one thing about your performances when I saw you was just the one thing that stood out, other than like the slide guitar that I thought was really, really cool.
Oh, the pedal steel, yeah.
Oh, is that what it, oh,
yeah.
I didn't even know it had a real name.
Yeah.
Wow, cool. I'm going to tell my mom that, because I was showing her a video of you performing.
Okay.
And she was like, oh, it's the slide guitar. But, and I just kind of wanted to ask you, what was your, like, I guess, vocal journey to, like, get to where you are today? Because I know it's not easy.
No. When I was young, my mom listened to Big Voices, and so that was inspiration. I think I was maybe 4 or 5, and there was a TV show called Sally Jesse Raphael, and there was a really young girl in there singing, and I remember watching it and just crying because I was like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
And I did chorus in elementary school. As I got into middle school and high school, I had responsibilities at home helping with younger siblings, so I didn't do a lot of extracurriculars. Again, like I mentioned, I started doing pageants for scholarship money, which they had talent, so that helped me to sing. And I knew that I had a voice, and I knew that I had the power and the breath to get it out, but I didn't know how to have the best control over my voice. And so probably in 2016, 2017, I met a woman, Erin Lunsford. She is now based out of Richmond, Erin Lunsford in the Wildfire. Erin is an amazing vocalist and instrumentalist, and she happened to be doing vocal lessons. And so everything up until that point I had just done by, like, ear and what felt good. And I wanted to make sure that I was taking care of my voice and training it and protecting it so that I didn't wear my voice out or have a vocal injury and not be able to sing at all. So I just started doing lessons with her. We really worked on breath work, doing different scales, runs. I wanted to widen my range, and drinking water. So those have all been things which I'm sure you can attest to that help your voice and even the exercises just help you find like the boundaries of what you can and can't do with your voice, and then like how can you bend around those. And it's really cool figuring out an instrument that's inside of you.
Exactly. Yeah.
And very uniquely your own.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's funny because I do tell people it's like a lot of people's best instrument is themselves. It's their own vocal talent. But yeah, and it's just clear how well you've done it, because your sound is just so healthy.
Thank you.
The tone is like, when you bellop, it's like it's there, and it sounds so good.
Thank you.
So good. And one of my favorite things about musical artists is when they sound like they do in the recording, and I really appreciate that about you and other artists, is that you can perform and actually do it, and it's really, really inspiring. So how do you balance the creative aspects of being an indie artist in the Shenandoah Valley? And because you're doing the business side and the crowdfunding, like how are you all like doing all that at once? Is it, like,
it's a lot. It's a struggle at times. My kiddo started kindergarten 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
so that was like also this huge thing that's happening amongst playing shows. And I was just in Stewart, Virginia on Friday for a festival playing, but then also doing all the posts for the crowdfund. I am a bit type A when it comes to all that stuff. So I use sheets and spreadsheets and email. I have a hard copy calendar that I still write everything in, just because for my mind, like typing it doesn't stick as well. So I have to write everything out to help get it stuck, gel in my brain. And then, like I said, I had management. My guitar player, Ben Bailey, came on last year. Unfortunately, he had an unexpected career change, and through that I just asked if he would want to help me with some of the admin side of music, because I was starting to get overwhelmed. And he said so he stepped in and started helping me with some things. And then we kind of found, I'm still really good at the booking, but there were other strengths that he had that could help me in other ways. And so he has now transitioned into management for me. And we work very collaboratively, but he also does a lot of like the band leadership things. So when we have people stepping into play, or we're learning new songs, or we need to get charts out to the band, he's doing all that back end work to make sure we're all on the same page. We all know the songs. We know where we're going when we have a show.
Okay.
And then the crowdfund, I essentially have a calendar that just has what days I'm posting. I had come up with a lot of the language or the captions or an idea of what I was going to put as a caption, and then just tweaking it and really getting all the fine details in place every day when I post it, and giving myself the time to do it, but also grace if it doesn't come out exactly right.
Wow. That's so many just rolls into one. That you've been doing for so long, and especially on top of being a mom, I think that's just I don't know. It means a lot. And like, I guess on top of that, how does like being a mom fit into all of this, I guess?
It is hard sometimes, but we, again, like with the schedule and like being type A, like Porter, like my husband goes by our last name, so Porter's schedule, we all have our own color on the calendar. We have meetings every month or every like 3 to 4 weeks to like sit down and go over our calendar. This month I'm actually going to be going down to Nashville for a festival, so I'm going to be gone for 5 days, and so we have a lot of care lined up to kind of get him from point A to point B with Ripley, our little one. And it seems like a bit of a 3-ring circus at times, but with Porter also having a quote-unquote non-traditional job, he has a lot of experience with, my partner works outside of the regular 9 to 5, and that's okay. That's just our normal, and these are the things that we do to live our lives together. With Ripley, he loves music, so that's really helpful.
Oh, that's great.
And he's been saying some really kind things, especially like during the crowdfund. It's such a vulnerable place, like posting on the internet, asking strangers to like help fund, fund a project. And so, you know, like your kid in the car the other day, I played a song for him that a friend sent me, and I was like, what do you think of this? And he like leans forward in his car seat and he goes, Mom, I mean, it's okay, but I just really like listening to your music, because we had been listening to like rough demos of songs for the record. And I just like, you know, you start tearing up because just this little 4-year-old saying these beautiful things. And when I went on tour earlier this year, I was talking to him on the phone, and he was saying that he was really proud of me. And I don't know if Porter or anybody else like prompted him to say that, but even if they did, just like hearing your kid say that they're proud of you just like makes you melt.
Right. I bet. I mean, just thinking about like that just makes me want to melt, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's I don't know. I bet this is just an amazing feeling.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But a very important part is having a supportive partner and someone that, you know, whether they have their own thing or not, that they realize that what you're doing or what I'm doing, he knows that what I'm doing is just a part of who I am, and I need it. Like, music is essential for my existence, and for him to support me any way above and beyond that he can, and to give me that space. I would say a lot of us have either had relatives or been in relationships where that hasn't been the case, and so to find someone to do that is also a really important piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, no, I bet. Oh, that's great. I'm really glad for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I did want to ask you about Honky Tonk Nights at the Golden Pony. I know it just had its 1-year anniversary. Is that right? That's awesome. Yeah, and so you produce it, or do you still produce it? Like, how did that start? Like, what are the kind of the goals that you want from the Honky Tonk Nights, I guess? So
I started Honky Tonk Nights because I had been playing like original music for a little while, and I was just having a hard time getting people to have me on shows or book me, and which was unfortunate and really frustrating. And so I don't really like to be told no. And I just decided that what I needed to do in order to circumvent that situation was to put on my own shows. And essentially, if no one was going to give me a seat at their table, I was going to build my own table, and everyone was going to be welcome as long as they weren't a butthead and watching that FCC. Exactly. And so I went to Paul, the owner of the Golden Pony. Paul's an amazing person and community activist and supporter of the arts, and just told him my idea and my vision for this show, and he gave me the reins to do it. We decided to do it on a Wednesday because other nights of the week they have existing shows or DJs, and we wanted this to be able to stand on its own and not worry about, well, we have to end the show, you know, so we can get DJ on. So we have Wednesday nights, the fourth Wednesday of the month. And I just started booking people that I love and appreciate their music. And I wanted to book Black, Indigenous, people of color, queer artists, women, and it not be, it's Women's History Month or it's Black History Month, and we're doing this special thing with a special lineup. I really want to broaden people's eyes and open their minds to, there are a lot of people playing country and Americana music that don't fit this false narrative that is put out into the world, has been for a long time. This is just the way that people look and their lives, and they also play country music. They don't have to like fit this persona. And so we've been growing, like there's been some growing pains just getting awareness and promotion and doing all that stuff, but we've had some really beautiful shows. It's had a lot of growth, and a lot of the artists that I've had come through are people that I'm a fan of, so that's also cool. I only play like one every couple of months, but I host them all, and so getting to have people come through that I'm a fan of and networking in that regard, and just making a lot of friends, and having musicians and working artists come through that people are blown away by their performances and may not have otherwise known of them. It's a cool thing.
Oh, exactly. And especially in such a male-dominated genre, like stuff like this, like we don't see a lot, and so it really is cool to see like this stuff actually come to fruition and stuff like that. We touched on a little bit about you were born in Guam, moved here. You said you were 4 again.
Yeah.
So I kind of wanted to ask. I know like it's rural Virginia. Obviously, it's not going to be the most open place, I guess. But I just kind of wanted to ask, like, what challenges have faced you as an indie artist and as like a Pacific Islander in rural Virginia, and how have you like overcome that?
Since I was little, I mean, there have certainly been instances of racism and discrimination, and a lot of people saying things that they don't realize are racist or hurtful or discriminatory. And so because I grew up in rural Virginia, it was, a lot of it was, I just didn't even have an awareness. It was like, oh, this is just what people say. And then as I got older, when I came to JMU, actually, it was a bit of culture shock because like I grew up in this teeny tiny town surrounded by all whiteness, and I was like the only Pacific Islander, you know, and I didn't know where any others were. And then came to school, and there was like an Asian population, a Pacific Islander population, so many different cultures and ethnicities. And it was beautiful, but it was also hard because I had to realize like, oh, this is a normal, regular thing. And becoming more confident in myself and knowing that the music that I write and I sing and the life that I live, that's just who I authentically am. Excuse me. And like I said about the Honky Tonk Night Show, you know, it's just as much for the community as it is myself, and proving to myself and to others that I do belong here. You know, I might look different than that false narrative, but I belong here, and the songs that I play and write are just as authentic as anybody else. You know, I'm writing about things that have actually happened to me, and I'm playing music and using sounds from the area that I grew up in, and that is a part of my life. And so just fighting back against that, this thought that like physically I don't represent where I'm from, and that is false. I played a show in Richmond recently, and sometimes it catches you off guard, but then sometimes you're not surprised. But I had like a young guy come up to me, and he just like leaned in over our merch table and was just like, so why exactly did you choose country music? Like what interests you about it? And I was like, dude, I grew up in rural Virginia. Like, is this a joke? Like, my granddaddy played bluegrass music. Like, we went to bluegrass jams all the time, and like my mom listened to country music. Like, the history and the music culture in the valley is very rich and beautiful. And so it's like, this isn't like a costume that I'm like putting on. I mean, I get stage ready, but like playing country music isn't like a costume that I put on, and like a fake, you know, way that I sing or fake stories that I'm telling. Like, they're all, it's all real. So it's insulting, and it is difficult, but another part about being a parent is like, once I became a parent and advocated for my kid, that made me even better at advocating for myself. And so like, if there's not a seat for me at your table, I'm gonna build my own, and everyone is welcome here unless they prove otherwise.
There you go. Wow, that truly inspiring. Just I guess a couple more questions. We talked about like artists that you had enjoyed seeing perform at Honky Tonk Nights, and the DIY scene in Harrisonburg is so just vast, and I kind of wanted to ask, is there anyone that you wanted to collab with or like co-write or
just in Harrisonburg, or like ever?
Both.
Okay.
Let's do both. Yeah, I want to hear it.
Okay. Somebody that I definitely wanted to collaborate with was Danny from Dogwood Tales, who's actually he's engineering for the record. Danny is amazing. Dogwood Tales is such a great band.
Oh, yeah.
All of them are so kind and just beautiful people. If you ever go to the Little Girl, you'll see Kyle in there. So it's really neat to like make that happen. Ebony Nicole was somebody that I wanted to collaborate with, and she and I have collaborated a couple times. I'm gonna sing on a track on one of her records. She's gonna do background vocals on this record. Josh Vanna is an amazing electric guitar player, and he no longer lives in Harrisonburg, but comes back occasionally, and we're actually doing this Rolling Stones cover show Friday at Restless Moons.
That's
and
awesome.
So there's so many musicians from Harrisonburg going to be on that show, and I'm gonna do Sweet Virginia, and he's gonna play guitar. Jason, who's in my band, is gonna play pedal steel, and then I'm gonna sing background vocals on a song that Josh is doing called Loving Cup. Let's see, who else? In general, I would really love to collaborate with Margot Price. She's like mother. Margot Price is amazing. Brittany Spencer is an amazing country artist, doing wonderful things. I have a huge music crush on Miko Marks. She's from California, and she has like returned to country and Americana music. And she's also inspiring because she's a mom. And her son plays music. He plays in like a huge band too. I can't remember what it's called. Reese Palmer is an amazing person. Reese is out of North Carolina. She was a pioneer in country music. She's a Black woman, and she has this amazing she has this amazing radio show on Apple called Color Me Country. She started it during the pandemic in honor of Linda Martell, who was... I believe Linda Martell was like the first Black woman on the Opry, like as a featured artist. She has an amazing record called Color Me Country, and Reese started this podcast. The first time I listened to it, I bawled my eyes out because it was like, these are people that have stories similar to mine. And I actually received a grant 2 years ago from Reese and the Color Me Country Artist Fund to help me with the production of a song. And then this year she invited me to be class of 2024 for Color Me Country. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, I saw a saying recently, like, surround yourself with people who say your name behind closed doors or something like that. And I recently had a producer for a very well-known TV show email me because Reese had mentioned my name. And turns out I was too old for the show, but I know, right? But it was just like, when I received the email, it was just so amazing that this person who is like a huge pioneer in country music as a whole, and has this amazing radio show, and like mentioned me to someone for an opportunity. And she also has posted the crowdfund, and she financially contributed, and she's awesome.
That's great. No, that's so cool.
There's like a long list, but I feel like that's a good chunk for now.
No, that's a good solid list. But yeah, it's just so cool how like artists can support each other, especially like in this scene when it's so hard. Yeah, I think that's all the questions I've got for you. We're going to take a short break, and then we're going to hear Rebecca sing live on air. But before that, if there's anything else that you want to say to the good old Shenandoah Valley, this is your chance to do it.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you to Forest Matter. Snaps for Forest for being amazing and connecting us. And like you said, it's great to see artists supporting artists. I've had so many artist friends that have shared the crowdfund campaign on their pages. They have contributed themselves. I had my friend Red McAdam, who's from New Jersey but lives in Arizona and is getting ready to move to Texas and out on the road right now, and like shared the crowdfund post and contributed $5. And he was like, I'm sorry I don't have more. I know everything helps, and I just really love you, blah, 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 blah. And that is the most amazing thing. Like, because as a working artist, we all know how hard it is, and just like that mantra of like everything helps, it is true. Like texting your friend when you know they're out on the road and like giving them a kind word of encouragement, like stuff like that. It really means a lot.
Yeah. Awesome. Great. Well, thank you so much, Rebecca, for being on the show. I really do appreciate it. Truly inspiring story, truly inspiring Harrisonburg native, or I guess not Harrisonburg, but generally Rockingham County area native. And yeah, just thank you so much for being on here. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. All right, everyone. We're going to take a little bit of a short break again. We're going to hear from another local artist. This is Big City Baby by Paul Myra. And we'll be back with more Rebecca Porter. We'll see you later. You just heard Big City Baby by Paul Myra, and we are back with Rebecca Porter. She's going to be performing a little bit of couple songs for us. And yeah, I'll let you have it. Take it away.
Okay. I'm going to play, since we're talking about the new record and the crowdfund campaign, I'm going to play a couple songs that are going to be on the record. Get folks a little hype for it. This first one's called Let Me Go. It's almost like you care. It's almost like you never let me go. Never walked away from once in a life. But dime store treasures and paper doll clothes. Never told a lie, never pawned a fake. Drove into the sunset, let my heart break. It's almost like you never let me go. Tell me how you sleep. Tell me how do you escape all your lies. Face yourself in the mirror each day. Lay down your head at night like you never told a lie, never pawned a fake. Drove into the sunset, let my heart break. It's almost like you never let me go. My, how fast times change. A flash flood started with a drop of rain. Forgiveness follows me now, and I can't quite understand how. It's almost like you care. It's almost like you've never let me go. You never walked away from once in a life. But dime store treasures and paper doll clothes. You never told a lie, never pawned a fake. Drove into the sunset, let my heart break. It's almost like you never let me go. Like you never let me go. Why can't you let me go? All right. My chair's squeaking a little bit, so excuse the chair. This next one's called No Evil, and essentially the message behind this song is that hate has no place here.
Not sure if it gets clearer than blood divided by name. My existence defies a problem you live to create. Hatred rounded up into lies. My existence cannot be erased. My existence cannot be erased. Speaking into the wind, but I can't say your words. Not sure if it gets clearer than blood divided by hurt. My existence defies a problem you live to create. Hatred rounded up into lies. My existence cannot be erased. My existence cannot be erased. Listening to the silence, but I can't hear your voice. Not sure if it gets clearer than love divided by void. My existence defies a problem you live to create. Hatred rounded up into lies. My existence cannot be erased. My resistance cannot be erased. I refuse to be erased. Stay here since I'm here. All right, and this one is called The Mountain. The sweetest words are better left unsaid. If they're promised
Wow. Thank you so much, Rebecca Porter, for coming in. Such
you
a
for having me.
captivating performance. It was really, truly an honor for you to be here. And yeah, Rebecca Porter, everyone, currently crowdfunding her new album. What is it called?
Roll with the punches.
Roll with the Punches. You can check that out on all of your socials, which are?
At Rebecca Porter Music.
Perfect. Great.
Instagram, Facebook. My website's www.rebeccaportermusic.com.
Dope. There we go. Thank you so much for coming in. We really appreciate it. And thank you, everyone, for listening if you're here. The next song is kind of related to this. This is Heart of the Country by Paul and Linda McCartney, because I feel like Rebecca Porter is the heart of the country in Harrisonburg. Yeah, here we go. Heart of the